The question of entities for me is it has to be philosophical in some ways. And I don't mean that as a dodge, but it's more that the consequences of the various beliefs we may have about them one way or the other, to my mind, have a lot of effects. There's a lot of outcome of them that to go into a place where you say, oh, they're real, is setting in motion a whole set of ideas, concepts, experiences that kind of feed off themselves, and simultaneously to say, oh, it's just your mind. It's just, our minds presumably produce everything. So that means our sense of there being another person. I'm looking at you. I sense viscerally that there's another being there. Is it so hard to imagine that that part of the brain mind could be booted up in such situations where it grabs onto some fragment of dream material but has that real sense that there's some kind of other there? That's not hard for me to imagine. At the same time, it doesn't take away the pressure, the fact that I'm sitting here with you, that I feel the presence of another, that I'm called ethically, psychologically, spiritually to sort of engage with this other that I'm not really sure is there. You might all be zombies. So in a way, it's like the question of are these things real? It's like, well, you could ask all those questions about the people we encounter on a daily basis. I have no way of knowing if you're not a zombie. I'm the only one who's conscious in this world. So in a way, it's less important about whether you believe in them so much as what do you do with this encounter? What do you do with this experience of an encounter? And I think, to my mind, that's a fruitful way of approaching it, because I also think that whatever ontological question that's being opened up by these things, what's really there, what is being really about, it's going to be trickier than we can wrap our minds around. It's going to be more flip-floppy, Mobius strip-like than we think. And even if they are just projections of certain like subroutines in the brain, which also seems like a perfectly reasonable way of approaching it, that we have all these sort of quasi-zombie-like things that are just operating on the edges of our consciousness all the time, doing stuff all the time, and it's almost like you peel back the layers and they're all there going, yeah, I'm doing my thing, yeah, check it out. Even in that case, what an extraordinary encounter, what an extraordinary experience, without having to invoke a kind of cultural regularity, and that's the part where you start to bring in anthropology, where you say, like, look, these people over here, they're going to have these kinds of experiences. These people are going to have those kind of experiences. There's some shared patterns that are pretty intense, that are hard to, just put into a subjective, purely subjective guise. But at the same time, personally, it seems more interesting to me to stay open to the encounter without building elaborate belief structures out of the encounters themselves.